Ensikat sits on a city of lost wetlands. It floats above this string of lakes that do endure underneath the city link, underneath us flowing into the waterways of Haysbrook, and in memories of all the people who have researched them and through their drainage and heard their stories passed down. The Lost Festival is a digital illustration project where we take the festival as an anchor for a way of understanding this lost and hidden landscape, and use this moment in art and time to go back to a very different time and a very different land. And in this way, we use this to animate and describe what's been erased. So here we are animating the waterways, very conceptually at first, and then this goes on to also draw on local arts, particularly photography and poetry, to start illustrating the city's wetlands. We've used D3 and leaflet libraries to animate the form and flow of the wetlands, and the Google Maps API to actually locate them in a contemporary map. So this loads this map where the audience can see the intersection of the festival map and the Lost Wetlands map. Placing each of these little points is, we've taken a sample from the middle of these is a venue, and you can see Space Cube is up here, a festival venue. And the animation and the placement of mapping elements is driven by a live Google Drive spreadsheet, in which the user can change all of the effects, the text, placement of images, without having to code. The project uses spatial information from Landgate and state records. Maps from the archives are used both to generate the texture of the wetlands, which you can see actually is quite, if you zoom in there, can you zoom into Lake Herdsman? Some of the texture is actually, we've pulled the texture from the old map from John Septimus Road in the 1800s. And all of those maps from the archives were also used to help us match them up with the current map and geolocate all of the lakes. We've also drawn on state and local government records, historical media, like Trove's newspaper archive and academic works, to identify as many names as possible of the various wetlands, and some of them over time will have had 4 or 5 names. You have to click on, so it's like, okay, there we go. And so you can click over the lakes and see all the names we have been able to discover. And with the images of the festival venues that Lauren Keith just loaded up, we've taken work from local amateur artists, photographers who are generous enough to be able to load their art up under a Creative Commons license. And we've mashed them up with some of the words of the Perth poet and wetland researcher Nanda Chinney and a Perth songwriter, May Saraswati. And I should know it by now about that. Quite literally, I actually reflected each of the venues on the points in an image of some existing wetland from the Perth area. The idea of our project is to give festival goers this richer and more complex understanding of the city, not just at this point in time, but for the much older enduring landscape that was there and flowing for such a long time. And we've also provided on-site a full reference list for all of the academic stuff and all of the state government reports and so forth that document it, so that anyone who would like to pursue this further can find out more. And we were asked when we started why we were building it and who was it for, and as well as giving people an understanding, we've met so many people who love the wetlands in the past week and we've done so much work, and it's a gift to all those artists and writers and scientists and hydrologists I met to actually bring some of this work to our place. This is a really tiny representation that's just starting to come together of a really large story of an amazing landscape. and we've tried to establish the basic infrastructure to tell that story. A lot of people have asked, like, do you have some of the Aboriginal stories involved in this? And we were really, really hedgy about going, we don't want to be a point of ourselves storytellers for a mob whose culture is really different to ours, but there's obviously an opportunity to work with traditional owners and also with scientists and artists and people who have their own narrative to lay out on something like this.